Hey, Pinellas County. Otis Dixon here, Florida high school graduate, class of 1996, and a proud former USF Bull. Back in the day, sports was everything to me. Now you can relive the excitement with Pinellas County Schools TV Classic Game of the Week. Watch some of the best high school players in the county leave it all on the field and the courts. Don't miss it Thursday night on PCS TV and Pinellas County School YouTube channel. You don't want to miss this classic.
A basketball Saturday night here at Seminole High School, the 4th annual Keith McCullum Shootout. Great to have you with us as Wharton battles Largo on the Game of the Week. The Packers and Wildcats, two of the top-rated teams in our Bright House Sports Network poll. Largo at number 3, Wharton number 5. Only 3 losses between them, and both could be moving up after what has been a great week by both schools. And we welcome you courtside, everybody. Great to have you with us. He's former Michigan star Gerard Ward. I'm Drew Felios. Wharton comes into this game playing outstanding. The Wildcats, one of the best teams in Hillsborough County, like they always are. But the Packers of Largo, second game in 3 days on Bright House Sports Network. Gerard, you were there for the Eastlake game. What'd you see?
Well, I saw a team that came out, and I think they were a little bit anticipating that the game would be a little bit more easy than it was. And early on, they struggled, but as the game went on, they were able to catch their rhythm a little bit and squeak out a victory.
All right. And then for Largo, they had a big win last night against Mitchell. Tonight they'll try and do it against these Wildcats. But Wharton, no pushover. 2 football players, 2 of the better basketball players that we're going to see tonight in Chase Litton and Auden Tate.
Exactly. I mean, both of those guys are exceptional athletes. I mean, they're 2 players that can play multiple sports. And then when they come on the basketball court, they can play multiple positions as well. I mean, they do a little bit of everything for their team. They're already recruited by some of the top schools in America, and I expect them to come out and have a great game.
For the Largo Packers, Donovan Hale is the quarterback. He's got the great genes. His father once played at Largo, was a great athlete at Florida State. This is him Thursday night where he did it all.
Yeah, Donovan came out and he really set the tone early. He got off to a great start, and then kind of a little bit in the middle of the game, he kind of fell asleep a little bit, but then as the game got extremely close there down the stretch, he put his will on the game and was able to help his team come out with a victory.
Donovan Hale averaging just over 13 points a game. He had 17 on Thursday night against Eastlake. So plenty of athletes on the floor tonight. This should be fun. It's Wharton and it's Largo. The game of the week from the Keith McCullum Shootout is coming up next. So sit back and enjoy what should be a good one at Seminole as the Wharton Wildcats and Largo Packers set to do battle. Only 3 losses between these 2 teams this basketball season. It's time now to look at our Central Florida and Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Keys to the game. Gerard, what do you see?
Well, for Largo, I think they just need to play their style of basketball. I mean, they like to play up-tempo style of basketball and try to force the other teams to play their style. And in Wharton, they just need to make sure they contain Hale and make sure they stick to what they've practiced every day in and day out.
There you see Coach Tommy Tonelli, his 15th season on the sidelines for Wharton. And we're just about set to go. The Largo Packers wearing the all-white uniforms. Wharton will wear the navy blue. There's the starters. Jack Taylor has been sensational for Wharton this year, taking over for C.J. McGill, who was a mainstay over the last 4 years in this program. Also, Christian Salazzo, Auden Tate, and Chase Litton, the 2 football guys, will jump forward. Curtis Reed for Largo with Xavier Almonte in the backcourt. Jonathan Crawford, Donovan Hale, and Brandon Jones, the big man. 63% shooting for Curtis Reed this year as Litton and Jones on the tip, and it's won by the Packers. Curtis Reed, 3-year varsity player for Largo at point.
Should be a very, very exciting game.
Xavier Almonte, his first shot is off, and there's Litton with his first rebound of the game. Jack Taylor goes glass. First 2-pointer of the game for the Wildcats. Now Jonathan Crawford, one of 3 major football players that suited up for Rick Rodriguez this past fall, now on the basketball court for Largo. Donovan Hale's first shot is up and in.
It's good for Donovan to get off to a good start. I mean, he got off to a good start the other night, and it really helped him as the game went on. But he doesn't need much help because he's an excellent player.
Foul going to be called. Jonathan Crawford will shoot. Chase Litton whistled.
I was very impressed with Largo Thursday night because these guys are super athletic. It's not too much they can't do. They have guys that can play multiple positions and defend pretty much everyone on the floor.
Here's Jonathan Crawford at the line. Averages just over 8 points a game. This is the guy who gets after it in practice, who dives after loose balls, who puts in all the dirty work even when the coach isn't looking.
He sure does. I mean, just the other night, he had a couple big-time plays down the stretch that was crucial as far as Largo getting the victory.
Salazzo avoids the trap. That Largo defense will trap you anywhere on the court. There's the pump fake and swatted away as Jonathan Crawford got a piece.
Largo's a team, they love to come out and play defense. They love to pressure the ball and try to force you into their tempo.
And it's 5 quick points for Crawford after that three-pointer. Here's Jack Taylor. Wildcats have it swatted. Brandon Jones, get that stuff out of here. Hale pump fakes and puts it in.
Nice shot by the young man. Nice shot by Hale. Good start for the young man. Number 20, Donovan Hale.
The Packers have come to play tonight. An early 8-2 lead. When you watch this team play, Gerard, any particular team that you used to play against or play with in your time on the court that they remind you of?
Well, they remind me of a UNLV where they have a bunch of great athletes and they love to get out in the open floor and just allow their athleticism to create good things for the team.
There's Phil Price. He's in his 18th season. His longevity, a reason why Largo's successful year in and year out. Players know what to expect from Price every year.
For the Wildcats, they have to make sure that they're not passive in attacking that press.
Fighting underneath. He'll be fouled. John Christian will shoot 2. That foul's going to be on Hale. As John Christian, the best free throw shooter on this Wharton team, with 2.
If Wharton can keep this game close and force Largo to the foul line, they may have an opportunity of winning this ball game because Largo is not the best of free throw shooters.
Eight to 3 here early. That shot's off. For the speed of this Packers team, they are one of the fastest teams I've seen in a while as Brandon Jones sticks it in. Now on the deck, Almonte with the steal, the lob.
Nice setup for Hale. Nice finish.
Foul coming out of it. Auden Tate. Here's another look.
Well, here you see great hustle by the young man. Lob pass from Crawford to Hale. Easy 2.
Nine-point early cushion as Litton's jumpers off. The follow is no good. Scott Salazzo, his first shot doesn't go down.
Drew, early on, it appears that Largo does not want to make the same mistake they made the other night. They are coming out more aggressive and attacking and keeping the pressure on.
Yeah, they let Eastlake get back into that game with the three-point shot and really settle into their offense.
Exactly.
Look at this jumper. Curtis Reed, the senior guard, can hit. The Packers so aggressive thus far. Here's Salazzo. Nothing going down right now for Wharton. Kari Allen's in the game for Largo. He wears number 12. Packers coming off a big win over Mitchell. That was a game that they had circled for the entire season. That game last night. So Eastlake, Mitchell, and Wharton in 3 days. That is not an easy slate.
No, it's not, but when you have the type of athletes that Coach Price is fortunate to have, I mean, these kids, Drew, they love to play basketball. What better thing to do than play the game of basketball and doing something that they love to do?
Chase Litton, the third all-time leading passer in Hillsborough County. Inbounding for Wharton, and Salazzo, another shot. He can't find the mark here in the first quarter.
Wharton needs to settle down a little bit and try to get something on the inside. Just do an easy basket or something to try to get themselves going as a team.
Hale couldn't hit. And it's Wharton basketball. Now the six-man, Thomas Tinelli, will check in for Wharton. Salazzo takes a break. "11 playoff appearances for Wharton. They've established one heck of a program. Last year making it to the Class 8A Final Four. Looking to take it one step closer this season. That a wild shot by Allen, doesn't go down, and here comes Tinelli. Offensive foul.
A little bit out of control, but I still like the thought process. He's trying to get the ball into the basket and get something close in an easy bucket to try to help his team get going.
Thomas Tinelli whistled for the foul. He's the son of course, head coach Tommy Tinelli. Coach Tinelli at his 327th win last night, a big one over Newsom. Tasted the college ranks for a while. Gerard was the director of basketball operations at USF for a couple years, but the high school game is what he really, really loves.
Yeah, Coach Tinelli, he's thrilled to be around the young kids where he can actually help mold them into better athletes, young men. And I can understand why. He has a great group.
Brandon Jones, a bucket. Wharton just not settled right now offensively. Salazzo able to stick it in.
I know it wasn't the shot they were looking for, but at this point, they just need to get themselves going a little bit.
Here's Jones again, that mid-range jumper. When a big man's got that working, it is tough to defend.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Jones. I mean, he has a nice mid-range game, and he's just so long, and he does so many different things. There you see, coming up with it. I thought it was a block.
Well, Brandon Drayton's going to get whistled for the foul. And I think he got some body.
Yeah, it appears that he did get a little bit of body, but nice effort nevertheless.
Here's the four-year starter, Chase Litton, averaging just over 11 a game. Auden Tate, he'll take a break. Litton, third best passer in Hillsborough County history behind greats like Aaron Murray and Quentin Williams.
You know, Litton is
the
type of player that tries to facilitate for his team. I mean, just same as he does on the football field, he brings that same mentality on the basketball court.
Jack Taylor handling for Wharton. They try and get inside. John Christian. Just no room to operate right now.
No, Largo is really packing in at 2-3 zone. They want to force Wharton to shoot outside shots.
Salazzo rushed it. Well, Wharton able to keep it. Now here's Christian. Every shot contested right now by the Packers.
Yes, every shot definitely contested, but I think Wharton is doing a great job of coming up with second chance opportunities. Now they just got to capitalize on some of those.
Pinellas telling Salazzo, hey, pick your shot, let it happen. It's just the releases right now are not very confident for Wharton as Christian misses at the line. Now Monty checks in for Largo. And now Tinelli will give John Christian a break. Shooting right now tough for the for the Wildcats. Scott Salazzo is 1 of 7 from the field. They whip it around and they come out of there with it. This is Jack Taylor. Can he make something happen? Hale denies him.
Nice defensive play by Hale. Way to get back and nice heads-up play. Control over the body and come up with a turnover.
Now the Packers taking some air out of the basketball. Here's Hale. Off-balance shot, doesn't go down. Tinelli, 2-on-2. Jack Taylor.
For the Wildcats, it's very important that Jack Taylor gets going.
Oh,
he's their top scorer this year.
Reverse layup by Ja'Cory Riley. That's intercepted. Here's Hale. Salazzo pulls it down. Wharton has got to settle things down. Wildcats just completely out of sorts, trailing by 14. Now coming up on 10 seconds to play in this first quarter. Here's Taylor in the lane, knocked out of bounds, staying with blue.
You know, Jack is a player who just a year ago, he was out of the country. I mean, he moved from Qatar. His father still plays professional basketball overseas, and he has really come in a short amount of time and grew a lot.
Tinelli denied, and that is a tremendous defensive first quarter for the Packers. So we've played one here at Seminole. The lead is 14. Largo over Wharton on the game of the week. Back here at Seminole, Keith McCullum shootout. Great to have you with us on Bright House Sports Network. Largo over Wharton, 20-6. Watch these games not only on Bright House Sports Network, but also on BHSN.com. BHSN Live as we web stream right to your laptop, your PC, your iPad, your Android, or whatever you want to call it. BHSN.com. If you're a Bright House subscriber, you can log on for free using your username and passcode. If you're not a Bright House subscriber, you can buy a pass for the particular game that you want to watch.
This quarter is important for the Wildcats to try to settle into some type of offensive rhythm. Right now they seem out of rhythm and nothing is going well for them. So at this point you just want to try to get a few easy buckets, get your confidence going and move from there.
Salazzo and J.C. Olbrich, the two non-starters in the game right now for Wharton. Here's Chase Linton trying to shake free. He can't put it down, and a foul whistled on Olbrich.
Chase is a type of player. He's a player that can play multiple positions for this team. I mean, sometimes he's even played point guard at times for this team. So expect for him to try to do a lot just to get this team going.
Largo taking their time here. Curtis Reed, not flashy, but just gets it done for the Packers. Xavier Almonte also along the wing. At some point, maybe penetrate that key, see what you got, Gerard. What do you think?
Well, I think Largo is doing a good job of showing patience right now because there's no shot clock. They're up a pretty good, nice lead, so they just want to kind of relax a little bit and get their legs back on them a little bit.
Here's the leaner, John Christian has it swatted away. Now the three-pointer taken. And the shooting right now is not happening for Wharton. They came into this quarter shooting 3 of 16.
Yeah, Drew, the Wildcats just seem as if they cannot buy a basket right now, but they just have to stay with it, stay the course, and something falling for them shortly.
Now John Christian, the top defender at the line. If you're just joining us, had a good game in our first session with Seminole taking down Brandon. The home team getting it done. Now another Pinellas-Hillsborough County matchup with Wharton and Largo.
You know, for Wharton, Christian is a player that's like a two-way player pretty much. He can play a little bit of point guard, a little bit of shooting guard, a little bit of forward, a little bit of everything. He does well on the defensive end as well.
Lob it baseline and a wild shot by Almonte. Good opportunity here for Wharton to cut into this lead. Christian, pull up and hits.
Exactly what Wharton needs to do. They need to penetrate the middle, penetrate the gaps, and try to come up with easy buckets.
From the corner, Brandon Jones showing the range. Big man can step out and shoot Gerard. How much does that up his stock as far as his recruitment is concerned?
Oh, big time. When you get a big guy that can step out and knock down buckets from the outside, stretch the defense, I mean, that's what coaches love.
There's Chase Litton pitching one in for the Wildcats. First bucket of the night for Litton. 22-11, the last few offensive series have looked much better for Wharton, but they're sneaking by Almonte underneath.
Largo is pretty much getting anything they want at this point. I mean, they've slowed the game down considerably, but they're still able to come up with easy buckets.
Tough pass there. Reed in the lane, and Jones, he'll shoot.
Nice find by Reed.
So Auden Tate whistled, and now the transfer from Pinellas Park, Brandon Jones. Just under 15 a game with 2. Hard to believe when you watch this young man play. He's only in his 3rd year of organized basketball. When did you start playing the game?
Well, I started playing it at a very, very young age.
Okay.
So for me, it was something that I kind of did gradually, getting a little bit better year after year after year. But as far as Jones is concerned, I mean, he's an exceptional athlete.
He's the leading scorer right now for Largo, 10 points on the night. Jack Taylor, three-pointer is up and in.
For Whitmore to have a chance to win this game, he has to get going.
A lob, too high for Jones. Salazzo in for the Wildcats, Tonelli to the bench. This Wharton program has won every way imaginable this year. They've won at the buzzer. They've won in overtime. They've won ugly. They've won pretty. Every which way. The bottom line is, in the end, they are winning a lot more than they're losing. 16-2 on the year.
Yes, they are. I mean, sometimes they don't play particularly well, but they still find a way to come up with the win. And for now, it's working for them. But as they get deeper into the postseason, they're going to have to find their identity a little bit more.
Biggest wins for Wharton over Plant and over St. Pete. Oh, there's a near steal as Curtis Reed slams into Salazzo. How important, Gerard, because you see a lot of guys on the court. Don't see a lot of big frames out there. Donovan Hale carries a lot of muscle, but not much weight out there to be thrown around right now. How important is a weight routine for high school players?
It's very important. I mean, it's very important for players on all levels. But these guys are still so young that, you know, it's understandable sometimes that you don't see the same type of body build that you may see in a college basketball game.
Litton fumbles it underneath. Here's Christian. And they're going to wave it off.
I know Christian can't believe it, but it was a nice move.
They're not going to count the shot. That looks like a continuation could have been given.
Yeah, I thought it was a continuation, but obviously the officials saw it differently and they called it on the floor.
That'll be a 1-1. Tonelli frustrated right now on the sidelines. But hey, don't take away a chance for my team to get points.
Oh, apparently they did count the basket. Or they just called a foul, Drew.
Our officials tonight, Steve Banks and Lewis Trice. Only a two-man crew here manning this game. Now Wharton, they just had it tipped away. Brandon Jones will draw a block on Litton.
Nice hands by Jones in order to knock it away and come up with an opportunity to get to the old-fashioned way from the free throw line.
As Brandon Jones fine-tunes his game, you wonder what his college potential is. Right now, in particular, East Tennessee State expressing interest. Still waiting for other interest. And as Largo moves on in the playoffs, if they make an appearance in Lakeland, that interest is likely to strengthen.
Yeah, if Brandon Jones keeps playing the way he's playing, he's definitely going to draw more interest from college coaches.
Here's the three-pointer. Auden Tate able to knock it down. That's his first bucket of the game.
Nice patience shown by the Wildcats and was able to come up with some type of result that they've been waiting for.
With Gerard Ward, I'm Drew Felios. Great to have you with us tonight. 10-point game. Largo leading Wharton. Wildcats slowly creeping back into this game.
You know, for this Largo team, they still have to stay aggressive the whole game. They don't want to, you know, to relax too much because the Wildcats are used to playing this style of basketball.
Coach Price wondering what is going on right now. That was a foul on Largo. So shots for the Wildcats. There's Scott Salazzo. Recognize the name. His older brother, Adam Salazzo, was a star at Armwood High School, went on to a great four-year career at East Tennessee State, and eventually a career in Europe.
Yeah, he was an extremely good player. A lot of talent in the Salazzo family.
2.5 minutes. Largo not nearly as explosive as they were at the start of this game, and a bad pass. Tonelli comes up with it.
where it appears that Largo is trying to work on their half-court execution a little bit more, and because they feel that it's a good game to do so since they got out to such an early lead early on.
Tried to get it to Tate, but it was knocked away. Here comes Dakari Allen. Ja'Cory Riley tried to score, and Allen couldn't finish. Now Reed, and a whistle.
Second chance opportunities, they always will kill a team if you don't box out. The first thing you learn in basketball is to find a man and box out. Here you see Largo just hanging around, sticking with it, being aggressive and able to come up with the basket. Reed is able to come up with the basket, and now he's at the foul line. Free throw shooting is something that Largo has struggled with all year. And, you know, Coach Price said the team works on it every day in practice, and he still doesn't understand why they're not a better free throw shooting team, but this is something they just got to keep doing.
Whip pass, Litton, top of the key, out of Tate. And shaken free, now Salazzo, three-pointer's good. And the Largo lead has been cut to 6.
Well, just as I mentioned, Drew, Largo's, you know, they're slowed it down a little bit, and they're allowing the Wildcats to hang around.
Here's Brandon Jones, turnaround is good. 13 points in this first half for Jones. Now turn up the intensity on that press. Linton flashing down to Tate. Tonelli thinking about it. And he runs into a defender.
I love the unselfishness by Wharton, but at some point, someone has to shoot the basketball.
Jonathan Crawford called for the foul.
It's always good to, you know, to look and see if you can find the next open man, but sometimes if you open and it's a good shot, step up and knock it down.
First free throw good for Thomas Tonelli III, senior guard, a starter at the beginning of the year, eventually moved to the 6-man role, Gerard, and he didn't take that very easily, especially because his father is the head coach. Can you imagine having to accept what is perceived as a lesser role in basketball? Dad's the head coach, not always easy at home, you know?
Well, yeah, I think initially it took him by surprise a little bit, but as of late, I think he's kind of settled a little bit more into his role and understanding that he just wants to do whatever it takes to help the team get the win, get a victory.
Good 6-man goes a long way in the game of basketball.
Yes, it does.
Jack Taylor, banker. 7 points for Jack Taylor. That lead now 4. "20 seconds to go in this first half. Largo dominated the first quarter. Wharton came back, and they've had their way here in the second.
Well, Drew, this game reminds me a lot of the game that Largo had the other night against East Lake. They got out to an early start, and then they kind of slowed it down a little bit and allowed East Lake to get back in the game.
Here's Donovan Hale. Desperation heave. And that'll do it for the first half. So after struggling big time through the first quarter, Wharton only trailing by 4, 29-25, with halftime festivities coming up right after this. Halftime at the Keith McCullum Memorial Shootout. Seminole High School is the place to be tonight in Pinellas County. 29-25, the Largo Packers enjoying a 4-point lead, but they led by a lot more in the first quarter before Wharton was able to close the gap. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the game of the week. Several big-time contests coming your way. On January 22nd, that is Tuesday, Gateway battles Osceola in our Central Florida game of the week. And then January 28th, Tampa Catholic and Tampa Prep, 2 big-time private schools going at it. Winter Park and Olympia following at 7 p.m. Joining you courtside with Gerard Ward, former Michigan star, I'm Drew Felios. Let me ask you this. This is your third game that you've gotten a chance to do with us. You were with us at Clearwater over the holidays, also the other night at Eastlake High School with Largo. Tonight, part of this Keith McCullum shootout. What are your early impressions of Bay Area high school basketball?
There's a lot of talent here. I think the overall, they're a good team, and they're evenly balanced. There's not one team besides maybe the two teams tonight that, kind of tipped the scale a little bit. But I think as far as me as a front runner, I think Largo is the front runner for me.
All right, let's take a look at some of the leading scorers in this game. Jack Taylor had a big three-pointer late for Wharton. Also, Scott Salazzo able to heat up late. John Christian as well, the guards, keeping Wharton in this game. And for Largo, Brandon Jones, the big man, leading the way with 13. Donovan Hale with 6. And Jonathan Crawford also doing his thing. I got to ask you, Donovan Hale right now only 6 points. He was impressive early in the first quarter, but then kind of was quiet the rest of the way.
Yeah, he was quiet, but he saw that his team had a nice flow to the game and that they were scoring easy. So he didn't need to do much. But I look for him to come out in the second half and try to step it up a little bit and put his team on his back and push this lead on up.
All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at some halftime highlights and stats as well. The best in Pinellas against one of the best in Hillsborough, 29-25, Largo leads. Third-ranked Largo over fifth-rated Wharton, 29-25. Here on the Game of the Week, it's the Keith McCullum Memorial Shootout. We're thrilled to have you with us on this Saturday night. Monday through Friday, join us 6 and 6:30 for the High School Scoreboard, the Bay Area's only high school sports show. Weeknights, 6 and 6:30. Be sure and check it out on Bright House Sports Network. With Gerard Ward, I'm Drew Felios. Wharton has climbed back into this basketball game. Gerard, how'd they do it?
Well, they just stayed patient. I mean, early on they couldn't get anything to fall, but they didn't lose confidence in their ability to score the basketball.
Here's some of the highlights of the first half. Donovan Hale came out firing, but the Largo Packers were able to spread it around as well. Jonathan Crawford knocking one down, and they really were denying Wharton shots at the goal.
Yeah, they were early on. I mean, they were everything that the Wildcats tried to do, it seemed like it wouldn't work for them, and so early on, they got a little bit discouraged, but as the game went on, they were able to build up a little bit of confidence.
Alley-oop to Hale right there. Eventually, Wharton gaining confidence. There's John Christian with the leaner, and Chase Linton from that elbow knocked one down. Offense just running a little bit smoother. There's Jack Taylor with the big three. And then Auden Tate, the wide receiver on the football field, able to get his confidence up as well.
Well, sometimes when you get the first one to fall, the next one it feels a lot better, and you relax a little bit, and it's easy to get a little bit more of a rhythm. And that's exactly what the Wildcats did there in the second quarter.
Still Wharton shooting 28% from the field. That's got to get better. The free throw story as well, not really in their favor, and Largo only shooting 50%. The second half, when we come back, Largo by 4. The Keith McCullum shootout returns after this. Second half underway. Largo in the white, Wharton in the navy blue. Starting five back out on the floor for the Packers. Brandon Jones, the high man in the first half. Here's Curtis Reed. And Auden Tate's going to be whistled for the foul.
Yes, and it appears that the Wildcats are coming out the same way they started the game, in a zone, and hoping that they can get Largo to do something uncharacteristic, like take some long outside shots where they can get a rebound and have an opportunity to get out in the break and get a couple easy baskets.
Points for Curtis Reed. He is cat quick on the perimeter. Lead now 5. It's Taylor. Gets Wharton into the offense. Linton tries to punch it into Christian.
Well, just in the way that they're swinging the ball around and moving the ball, you can definitely tell that the Wildcats are playing with a little bit more confidence.
Here's Linton, the leaner, doesn't go down, but they're able to get the rebound.
Nice shot by Lynn, and way to stay with your shot. That's the first thing they teach you. The shooter pretty much always knows where the ball is going.
Another shot at it. Taylor couldn't get it to fall, and now Reed on the other end. It's the trailer. Jones lays it in.
Well, just there you saw Reed. I mean, that's a little bit of what you was talking about. This guy is extremely quick.
That was about as well executed a break as I've seen this season. From the corner, Auden Tate. Bad shot, way off. Salazzo fighting for it.
Nice effort by the Wildcats.
Wharton's got to be careful they don't come up on the short end of another Largo flurry here. Linton shot bounces around and finally goes down.
No, Wharton definitely don't want Largo to come out and early and get a run here in the third quarter, because it may be something that they cannot make up in this second half.
Now Jones, baseline, left it short, and so is the follow. Donovan Hale couldn't lay it in. Now the Wildcats will run. Jack Taylor takes it himself.
Nice move by Mr. Taylor. Way to take it strong, penetrate the gap, finish with an easy layup.
The lead is down to 3. Here's Hale. He can't fall.
Well, ever since the first quarter, it seems that Hale's been struggling a little bit. And he's starting to get down on himself. The biggest thing you can do in a game of basketball, it's a long game, never get down on yourself. Just keep shooting, and once you get the first one to fall, others will follow.
Jack Taylor averaging just under 16 a game right now with the basketball for Wharton. He has really, I think, been the MVP for the Wildcats. He has stabilized things here throughout the last few quarters.
Well, Jack Taylor had an opportunity to work on his game last year, not feel the pressure, come behind some of the starters until he can build up the confidence that he needed in him. And surprising, this year he's off to a great start.
Jack Taylor, you mentioned, he transferred to Wharton from Qatar. He was born and raised in the Middle East, and it was between the Tampa Bay area or Laguna Beach, California, where he was going to move. Family came over here. Father worked in pro basketball over in the Middle East. And it's amazing how well he has adjusted to this way of life. Speaks English perfectly, and it's almost as if he never left here in Tampa.
Well, Drew, it is really amazing how well he has adjusted, but a lot of it had to do with the fact that he went to an all-American school there.
Yeah.
And it helped him out an awful lot. So the transition as far as the language and things of that nature was okay. The biggest thing for him was the speed of the game. And I think he's done a great job of adjusting to that after just 1 year.
There's Dakari Allen at the line. Four-point game. Salazzo had it tipped. And another turnover forced. These Packers just get after you defensively as Curtis Reed puts it in.
Nice defensive sequence by Largo there.
They like to play at this frantic pace.
The Packers are the type of team that, you know, they can get out and play up-tempo, or they can slow it down. I mean, they have enough athletes to play multiple ways.
Taylor wants the 3, just off. Salazzo able to reel it in. Now Litton, nice pass. Christian made that defense shift. John Christian now will shoot.
Well, it was just great effort by the Wildcats to come up with this offensive rebound and get a second opportunity to score the basketball. And the end result leads to a free throw.
Substitutions, Tonelli in, also J.C. Obrick for Wharton.
Don't let him push out the middle,
And Largo will give a rest to Brandon Jones. He has exerted a lot of energy here tonight.
Well, for the Wildcats, I mean, anytime you can see Mr. Christian go to the free throw line, it's a plus for him. He's an excellent free throw shooter.
35-31.
Largo's being really patient, swinging around, trying to get a good shot.
2-3 zone working well right now for Wharton. The Packers can't get it to fall. Now Taylor. Open man was Linton, didn't see him. And now the shot blocked. Was over, couldn't get it to fall. Here's Christian.
Well, both teams right now a little bit sloppy with the basketball. And I'm sure that both coaches are yelling this exact thing to him at this very moment.
Timeout. Coach Phil Price wants to talk about it.
Yeah, I think Coach Price want to just make sure that things don't get out of control right here, because they were in a similar situation just the other night where they allowed the team just to hang around, and they made the game a lot more difficult than I think Coach Price thought it had to be.
Well, there are some great two-sport athletes playing in this game and playing around the entire Tampa Bay area. Jonathan Crawford, Donovan Hale, two tremendous Largo Packers on the gridiron. Hale was the quarterback this past season. Chase Litton and Auden Tate, a quarterback-wide receiver combo for Wharton. But eventually, Gerard, how tough is it to have success in both sports, football and basketball? That is a tough combo, isn't it?
Well, that definitely is a tough combo. And as these young players move on, they're probably going to have to decide on one over the other, because it's pretty difficult to do both sports in college basketball today.
Work that baseline. Now Reed. Pull up. Nice.
Nice execution by the Packers. Way to be under control, take your time, and get the shot that you wanted.
7 points for Curtis Reed. Wharton just will not go away, though. Largo has gone for the knockout blow. Somehow the Wildcats hanging in.
Well, for Wharton, ever since the first quarter, I mean, they've been seemingly playing with a lot of confidence. They're not intimidated as they appeared early on, and they're executing a little bit better in the half-court set.
That's the middle of that defense again. And a tough pass to handle, out of bounds. It'll be Wharton ball substitutions. Linton and Salazzo in. Also, Ja'Cory Riley for Largo. So Chase Linton will bring the ball up like he is right now. They're not hesitant to make the big man on the court and the quarterback the point guard if they absolutely have to. They're not shy using him as a ball handler because of his versatility.
Well, that's what I mentioned early on, how Linton is just a great player to have on a team like this. I mean, his value is endless.
A lot of shifting right now by this Largo defense. Taylor. Timeout. So, minute 33 seconds to go in the third quarter. Tommy Tonelli. I don't know if he called that timeout to wipe the floor or just to stop action, give his team a little breather.
Maybe a little bit of both. I think Coach Tonelli really is excited with where his team is right now, because it could be a lot worse. The way Largo came out with that early run, they could really be blowing the Wildcats away right now, but actually they're not.
How about this little guy right here? That is assistant coach Chris Foot's little son. He loves being on TV. Three-pointer on the way. Salazzo just off. Auden Tate hits the deck hard, and now Linton's shot doesn't go down. Right now, offensively, Wharton struggling.
Not a bad shot by Solanzo. I mean, I like the thought process. Just got to step up and knock it down.
Solanzo hustling back for the Wildcats. At times, it has been a very frustrating game to keep your head in, because if you're Wharton, not all games are like this, Gerard, where it's this much of an uphill battle against the opposition.
Well, that's true, but at the same token, I think Wharton is more used to playing this style of basketball. I mean, they had some very ugly wins this year, so, I mean, they understand that the game of basketball is not always going to be perfect. Actually, it's never perfect.
Wharton plays tremendous defense. They held Newsom last night to 34 points. Right now doing a good job on Largo. As this one out of bounds, and it'll be Wildcats ball. The adjustments and the defensive tenacity at times has thrown Largo off their game.
I agree. I mean, this was a great defensive sequence for the Wildcats, and now they need to come down and try to get a good shot. Not necessarily a three, but just a good shot at the basket.
Solanzo, three-pointer. Little too strong. How about Auden Tate high up for?
Nice rebound by the big fella.
Showing those wide receiver skills. Jack Taylor, whip pass into Litton. Tonelli thought about the shot. Under 10 seconds now. Solanzo trying to make something happen. Spinning and traveling. And he can't believe it.
That's a prime example of, you know, a young man who knocked down a few shots early on in this quarter, and so his confidence is flowing. But that particular moment, I think he tried to do a little bit too much.
Only 14 combined points in this quarter. It has been very locked down here inside Seminoles Gymnasium.
Well, if you're the Wildcats, you have to be excited because you still have an opportunity to make this game a close game here in the fourth quarter. I mean, it's a very low-scoring game, and just give you an opportunity to create some big-time plays down the stretch.
We've played 3 quarters here at the Keith McCollum Shootout. Largo still hanging on, a 6-point lead. Well, this shootout this weekend dedicated to Keith McCollum, former Seminole basketball player who tragically lost his life April 10th, 2009, along with Nathan Richardson, Joseph Rzecki, and LaShawn Smith. The Seminole and Largo communities both affected big time. This is the 4th year of this great event, and it continues to pick up steam. Josh Walker, Seminole basketball coach, has done a tremendous job making this event happen, and we are thrilled to be a part of it.
Oh, yes, we are. It's an exciting time for these young men just to come out and play basketball. Another opportunity to tune up as you go down the stretch here.
Bucket by Linton makes it a 4-point game. Here's Curtis Reed. Hands off to Hale. Donovan Hale still quiet. Only 6 points on the night. A near backcourt right there, and he saved it. Here's Reed. The pull-up, and he finds it. 9 points for Curtis Reed.
Nice pop and stop by Mr. Reed.
And a bad pass. Largo forcing another turnover. 12 turnovers tonight for Wharton. Brandon Jones, good look. Oh, that's nicely done. As Brandon Drayton, Brandon to Brandon, finishing for the Packers.
Way too easy for the Packers.
Coach Tonelli does not want that lead to get into double digits. He calls a timeout. Wharton has fought so hard to just hang around here tonight.
Yeah, they've positioned themselves pretty well here. They're right in the ball game. A few buckets fall for them, and it could be a different ball game right now.
Here, Coach Tonelli in that huddle, getting after his team. He was once an intense guard who suited up for USF from 1982 to 1986.
Yeah, Coach is trying to rally his troops a little bit, calm down. I'm pretty sure he's telling them that on the defensive end, you have to come up with the basketball. You have to get some stops before you can get the ball and run out and play offense.
Started coaching in 1986 after his playing career at South Florida. Chase Linton is prize pupil for Wharton. Loose ball, and the Packers run it down. There's the athleticism as Jonathan Crawford with the layup. It's 10-point game. Tonelli's not scored tonight. Hands off to Linton. Nice lay-in.
When you need a big basket, you go to a guy who's not afraid to make things happen. He's been in this situation many, many times, not just on the basketball court, but on the football field as well.
8 points for Chase Linton. Largo crowd now calling for some defense. Jack Taylor tees one up.
Big shot for Mr. Taylor is exactly what the Wildcats needed at this moment. Now they just got to step up and get some stops.
Jack Taylor with 12 points for Wharton. He's the high man.
Well, Drew, as you can see, the Wildcats have stepped up a little bit and changed defense a little bit. It appeared they were in man-to-man.
Taking a shot was Curtis Reed, and he may have gotten his teeth knocked out. There you see John Christian, the recipient, I believe, of that collision. Some physical basketball being played right now, and they are looking for teeth on the floor. There's the collision right there.
Well, it appears he either lost the teeth or lost the contact.
It's getting physical, a 5-point game, and when you're priding yourself on defense, you're the Wildcats, you know this team is going to play physical when they have to.
Well, here it is. We're down to almost 5 minutes to go in the game. And, you know, most coaches always preach it's the first 5 minutes of every half, but also it's the last 5 minutes of the game that really is going to tell the tale.
Crawford inbound. And after taking that shot, Curtis Reed, he made a beeline towards the exit. So he is not in the gymnasium right now. Largo will put the point guard duties in the hands right now of Donovan Hale.
I think he may have had a little bit of blood on the jersey is the reason for his absence.
Brandon Jones just waiting for it. Can't hit though. There's the offensive putback and the first bucket in a long time for Donovan Hale.
Yeah, Donovan has been struggling a little bit tonight, but way to come up with a big bucket at a very good time.
The first point since the first quarter for Hale. The high man for Largo is Brandon Jones. He's got 16 on 8 of 11 shooting.
And it's not surprising with the way that Mr. Jones run the floor, jump, it's not surprising that he's the leading scorer tonight.
Linton shakes free for that jumper and puts it in.
Nice shot by Chase.
Now Allen, maybe a little bit quick on the shot, and Wharton will get the basketball again, trailing by 5.
Yeah, Coach Price right now is telling his team to relax, calm down, stay under control. They don't need to rush anything right now because they still have a 5-point lead.
Well, C.J. McGill meant so much to this Wharton program over the past 4 seasons. He's no longer a Wildcat. Now at the University of Mobile. The team in good hands as Jack Taylor with it right now has been outstanding handling the pressure tonight. But now it's crunch time, and Donovan Hale and company are on the prowl as Jones puts in the miss.
There's the guy, my man Jones again, is just hanging around, doing what he does best, coming up with a loose ball and finish.
Linton, same shot. He's gone to that one 3 times in a row.
Well, Drew, right now it appears that Linton is taking it upon himself to carry this team and try to get this team over the hump a little bit.
Here's Chase Linton on the basketball court. On the football field, totally different story. Playing for Wharton this past season, continuing to add to his career passing totals. And Auden Tate wearing number 18. Talk about scholarships. Michigan State, Illinois, North Carolina, UCF, Kentucky among schools bidding for his services, but he could chuck it around the yard a little bit.
Well, yeah, definitely. You know, for these 2 young athletes, you know, the sky is the limit to them as far as football is concerned. You know, so I don't know which one they may choose going down the stretch, but I just like to see them play because they're both great athletes in either sport.
64 total touchdowns, coming up on 8,000 yards. That is quite a career for Chase Linton. Still undecided. National Signing Day not too far away. The first Wednesday in February it is traditionally. He was at one time committed to the University of South Florida, but pulled back his verbal commitment, and now it's just wait and see.
Well, you know, sometimes guys, you know, they sign early, then they decide that maybe it's not the place for him, so they, you know, have second thoughts, and rightfully so. He's young.
Chase Linton with 12 points tonight for the Wildcats. 3 minutes to go. Lead is 5. Packers playing catch. Nice shot. Brandon Drayton that puts it in.
Nice execution in the half court for the Packers. They swung the ball around until they got the shot that they wanted, and they just stepped up and knocked it down.
Pinelli thought about it, then pulled it back. Now Jack Taylor. Offensive rebound, and they're going to call jump ball.
You know, for the Packers and Coach Price's team, with a little bit over 2 minutes to go, the name of the game for them is being patient. Being patient and executing in the half court, and they'll walk away with the victory.
Wharton has never led tonight. Corey Riley was in trouble. Able to get out of it though, and now fighting underneath. Here's Crawford, nice pass. Jones hitting the deck, and he'll shoot.
Nice aggressive move by Mr. Jones, and now he has to earn it at the free throw line. There you see Jones that normally averages about 14.5 points a game, but tonight he's having a tremendous game with 17 points and an opportunity to add to it.
Also 4 of 5 from the line right now. Salazzo checks back in. You look at the game of Brandon Jones. Do you think he squeaks into Division I basketball, or would you say mid-major, or would you say Division II?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, the way he's playing right now with the high level of confidence, by the end of the year, there's no telling.
You never know when players are going to go into their big growth spurts or when their game is just going to go to the next level.
Exactly. All you need to is have that big game or that type of game you need in front of the right coach at the right time, and you might get that call, Drew.
50-42. Largo now closing in on what would be 3 straight big wins in their best week of the season.
And Curtis Reed is back in the game. obviously wearing a different number, number 15, is doing an excellent job of controlling the pace of this game right now.
Foul on Salazzo. And right now, neither team in the penalty.
Even though it's not the bonus, Largo's doing a great job of playing a little bit of keep away. The goal for Largo is just to continue to be patient, running the clock, because you know in high school basketball there's no shot clock, so you can just keep being patient and swinging the ball around until you feel you got the shot that you wanted.
5-second call. No, they're going to say a timeout. They're going to award a timeout to Largo.
Ooh, close, close. Almost came up with a turnover there for the Wildcats.
This Largo program feels that this is the year where they can make some serious noise and a run towards the state championship.
Well, yes, they do. I mean, Largo is, in the past 3 years, they've been steady making ground and making progress. Last year, I think they were able to come up with the natural number of wins, but who knows how far they can go this year. They have a great group of athletes, nice mixture of old veterans versus youngsters.
Well, high school hockey is coming at you next week on Bright House Sports Network. January 24th, mark the calendar. 7:30 and 9:30, Steinbrenner and Wharton, followed by Manatee and Eastlake. High school hockey. To take a look at our director, Bob Herman, on BHSN.
If you're Largo, pull it back out, run some clock, swing it around until you can get the shot that you want.
Loose ball, Crawford runs it down. Coming up on a minute. Packers still keeping it alive. Oh, Jones made a great catch. Just a game of keep away right now with no shot clock in high school ball.
Exactly, great job by Largo, being under control, swinging the ball around, making good passes. It appears they're going to come out with the victory tonight.
And their fans appreciating it. That's not how Largo likes to roll, but in that moment, they'll take it.
Exactly. I mean, it's a learning process, and I know it's something that Coach Price doesn't mind his team going through at this moment.
Well, Auden Tate has fouled out of this game. He wears number 32 for Wharton. He's going to have a seat. I don't think he knows it right now, but the official just informed him. So Auden Tate only had 2 practices before basketball season began. Not a lot of time to get into basketball mode. It's not an easy transition when you go from the grueling, tough sport of football to what is a lot of times a more finesse game of basketball. It takes a while to get your legs under you, doesn't it?
It sure does. I mean, it's 2 different sports, so it takes time to just get into the mindset of playing basketball.
Timeout. Packers unable to inbound it. Jonathan Crawford heads up play. Calls the timeout. Look at our top 10. Gerard, you've had a chance to see Largo, also Wharton here tonight. Gibbs, a team that so many people are talking about. Berkeley Prep had a chance to play on our air a couple weeks back. Fell to Lake Highland Prep and the great guard Joe Barry out of Orlando.
Yeah, these two teams here tonight, I mean, they're playing exceptionally well at this point of the season, but they know that they still have things that they have to improve on in order to go far in the playoffs.
If you're thinking of this Packers team, so much athleticism, what does Largo have to do to make a serious run in Lakeland?
Well, I think the biggest thing for them is Donovan Hale has to stay healthy. He's had some problems with his ankles throughout the season, and right now I don't know if he's 100%, somewhere maybe 80%, but he's been getting better and better with each passing game. I know tonight he hasn't had the best of games, but this young man is the real deal.
Got to revolve around your stars. Oh, that should be a backcourt, and it's not called. Our officials tonight, Steve Banks and Louis Trice, getting an earful from Tommy Tonelli.
Yeah, it appears Coach Tonelli didn't particularly agree with the officials there. He thought it was a backcourt, and the officials say he didn't have control of the basketball yet.
Foul called. Crawford tried to attack the rim. One and one. They'll shoot. And it'll be Jonathan Crawford at the line.
Well, Mr. Crawford has had another excellent game. He's been consistent, aggressive, hard-nosed, tough defense, and just doing the little things. Anything that it takes for his team to win, that's Jonathan Crawford.
Now the lead is 9. Wharton needs a 3. Linton will pull the trigger and hit. So 15 points for Chase Linton. He's had a nice ball game. And really in this second half, he has been most of the offense for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Chase really has. I mean, Chase came out the second half and decided to try to put the team on his back to try to get everyone going, and he's done a great job of that. And unfortunately, his teammates haven't stepped up as much as he has, and they find themselves down a few with 20 seconds to go in the game.
Well, for Wharton, they're tuning up for districts. Plant has played exceptional this season. The overall record belongs to Wharton, but Plant 8-1 in the district, tied with Wharton. Bloomingdale, a solid team we saw last week. Newsom, Alonzo, and Riverview also in 8A District 7. But this is usually Wharton and everybody else. They usually dominate this district. This year, a little bit more parity through the ranks in Hillsborough County. Coach Tonelli says, I love the challenge year in and year out, Gerard, of looking at the talent that I have, molding it, watching the kids grow, and seeing how far we can advance.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a true mark of a true coach who just loves the game of basketball.
Oh, Linton looked like he had it in the corner, but lost it. Now Brandon Jones with the exclamation. So the icing on the cake. And a block to go with it. 21 points for Brandon Jones, and there's the smile.
Great game by Mr. Brandon Jones. Way to come out, ready to play, step up, and execute.
53-45, the final score. Another one in the win column for Largo. When we come back, our FBC Mortgage Player of the Game, and we'll wrap it up from Seminole. Big win for the Largo Packers, 53-45 on the game of the week. The Keith McCollum Memorial Shootout is in the books, and it was fun. Joining us now, our FBC Mortgage Player of the Game, Brandon Jones, 21 points on the night. Brandon, congratulations. For you guys, you started so fast, but then Wharton was able to slow it down, get back into the game. How did you guys counter with that?
We just, I think we had to slow down things and run through our offense. They took advantage of, missed opportunities, rushed layups, bad shots. Other than that, I feel like we played well, came back to the game, extended the lead.
And you personally, you've been playing extremely well as of late. Tell me what you think, your thoughts on that.
I'm just trying to work hard on the defense and offensive end and try and put up more shots, better shots. I started off taking bad shot selection, but I just want my shots to fall, so I take better shots.
Wharton was an outstanding defensive team. They kind of threw you guys out of your game for a while there, but you guys were able to respond. Is that the mark of a great team, winning even whenever you're not having your best night?
I think so. You know, if you play together, sometimes you won't always have a great game, but you stick together and pass the ball, work to the good spots to the basket, you know, we'll play good.
How far is this Largo team going to go? Can this team make a run towards a state championship?
Definitely, I think so. I trust my teammates. They trust me, so as long as we trust in each other, we'll get there.
Nice game. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The MVP of the game and our FBC Mortgage Player of the Game, Brandon Jones, with 21 points tonight. As you see, Donovan Hale also happy with the performance. The crowd here at Seminole High School saw some tremendous basketball. Our first game with, hang on one second there. Michael and Christopher also joining us here in the winners column. Gerard, come on in here. There's the celebration now beginning for Largo. Tight quarters here at Seminole. This Largo team, very athletic. I think they've got what it takes to make a run to Lakeland.
Yeah, I think they do. And if they, like I said before, if they can keep guys healthy here going down the stretch, in particular Donovan Hale, then I think they got a good opportunity moving forward towards state.
As far as the Wharton Wildcats are concerned, what did you see? What did they have to do to possibly make a run as well?
Well, they just got to clean things up a little bit. They got to find their identity more. I mean, I still think they're struggling with trying to figure out exactly how they want to play in the half-court set. But other than that, I think they had a very good game tonight.
All right, Gerard, excellent stuff as Largo takes this one 53-45 over the Wharton Wildcats. For Gerard Ward and Jeff Sermon, our producer, I'm Drew Felios. Largo takes another one home. Thanks for joining us. See you next time on the Game of the Week.